Have you ever noticed how some people seem to move through life with a quiet steadiness, even when everything around them feels rushed and overwhelming? In Japan, this calm presence is not usually the result of expensive wellness programs or elaborate self-care routines. Instead, it grows out of simple daily habits, so ordinary that they are easy to overlook. Habits practiced not for show, but for balance. Japanese culture has long valued the idea that well-being is built in small moments rather than dramatic gestures. You will not always see grand displays of relaxation or indulgence. What you will see are subtle choices repeated day after day, the way someone begins their morning, interacts with their home, or moves through the world. Over time, these quiet rituals shape mood, resilience, and even physical health. What makes these habits especially powerful is that they cost absolutely nothing. No subscriptions, no equipment, no special training. Just awareness, intention, and a willingness to slow down for a few minutes at a time. They are accessible to anyone, anywhere, yet deeply rooted in a cultural philosophy that sees harmony as something cultivated, not purchased. So, what are these invisible practices that can transform how you feel without changing your bank account? Let's begin at the very start of the day, in the calm space before the world fully wakes up. Number 1. Morning silence. Before the world wakes, in many Japanese homes, the day begins not with noise but with stillness. Before alarms, conversations, and responsibilities rush in, there is a brief pocket of quiet that feels almost sacred. Some people wake a little earlier than necessary just to experience this calm, sitting quietly with a warm drink or simply listening to the faint sounds of morning beginning outside. This silence is not empty or lonely. It is grounding. Without the immediate intrusion of news, messages, or social media, the mind has a chance to orient itself gently. You become aware of your breathing, the light changing through the window, the subtle transition from night to day. Instead of being pulled into urgency, you arrive in the day on your own terms. Historically, this appreciation for stillness connects to Zen principles, where silence is seen as a source of clarity rather than absence. Even people who do not practice meditation formally often preserve a few quiet minutes as a buffer against the chaos ahead. Psychologically, this moment can shape everything that follows. When your first experience is calm rather than stress, your body remains steadier, your thoughts clearer, your reactions softer. It is a small investment of time with a surprisingly large return, one that costs nothing yet quietly transforms how the day unfolds. Number 2. Opening windows to invite fresh air and energy. Soon after waking, another simple ritual often follows. Windows slide open, curtains part, and the outside world is invited in. In Japan, airing out the home is not just about temperature or ventilation. It reflects a belief that fresh air renews both the physical space and the people living within it. As cool morning air flows through the room, it carries subtle sounds and scents, distant traffic, birdsong, rustling leaves, hints of rain or sunlight. These sensory details reconnect you to the larger environment beyond your walls. The home no longer feels sealed off or stagnant, it feels alive. This habit also has practical roots in Japan's humid climate, where ventilation helps prevent dampness and mold. Over generations, necessity evolved into mindfulness. Opening the windows became a symbolic reset, letting yesterday's stale air and lingering tension drift away while welcoming a new start. Modern science echoes this intuition. Fresh air improves concentration, reduces indoor pollutants, and elevates mood. Yet you do not need expensive devices to experience these benefits. Nature provides them freely. Standing near an open window, feeling a breeze on your skin, you may notice your shoulders relax without effort. The body recognizes openness. For a brief moment, you are not confined by schedules or worries. You are simply present, breathing air that has traveled across trees, streets, and sky before reaching you. Number 3. Walking as a daily reset, not just transportation. In many parts of Japan, walking is woven into everyday life so seamlessly that it is rarely labeled as exercise. People walk to train stations, through neighborhoods, to shops, and between errands. These journeys may be short, but they happen consistently, creating a rhythm of movement throughout the day. Unlike intense workouts that demand preparation and motivation, walking asks very little. You step outside and begin. Along the way, you encounter small details that would otherwise go unnoticed: seasonal flowers, quiet shrines tucked between buildings, the pattern of sunlight on pavement, the simple presence of other people moving through their own routines. Culturally, there is a long appreciation for mindful walking, especially in natural settings. The practice known as forest bathing emphasizes slow movement through green spaces as a way to restore mental balance. Even in dense cities, walking provides a transition between activities, allowing the mind to decompress instead of carrying tension from one task directly into the next. Emotionally, the effect can be profound. Problems that feel heavy indoors often become lighter when your body is in motion. The steady rhythm of footsteps calms racing thoughts, while exposure to daylight supports mood and sleep patterns. Perhaps most importantly, walking reconnects you with the physical world. You are not just thinking about life, you are moving through it. One step at a time, without cost, pressure, or performance, quietly resetting your body and mind for whatever comes next. Number 4. Caring for your space as an act of self-respect. In Japan, the condition of one's surroundings is often seen as a reflection of one's inner state. A clean, orderly space is not about impressing visitors or achieving perfection. It is about creating an environment where the mind can rest instead of constantly reacting to visual clutter. From an early age, children learn to participate in cleaning shared spaces at school, wiping floors, arranging desks, and taking responsibility for their environment. This lesson carries into adulthood. At home, tidying is usually done in small, consistent actions rather than overwhelming cleaning marathons. A blanket is folded after use. Items are returned to their place. Surfaces are wiped before dust accumulates. None of these tasks are dramatic, yet together they prevent chaos from taking root. There is a quiet, emotional reward in this practice. Walking into a calm, organized room can lower stress almost instantly. The absence of mess removes subtle reminders of unfinished tasks, allowing the mind to settle. In this sense, cleaning becomes a form of mental maintenance as much as physical upkeep. You are not just caring for objects, you are caring for the atmosphere in which you live. It is a silent message to yourself that your comfort and clarity matter. Number 5. Drinking water. Mindfully throughout the day. Water is one of the most basic human needs, yet it is surprisingly easy to neglect. In Japan, hydration is often approached with steady awareness rather than urgency. Instead of waiting until thirst becomes intense, people tend to drink small amounts regularly, keeping the body balanced throughout the day. This habit is not flashy. There are no complicated formulas or trendy beverages involved. Plain water or simple tea is usually enough. What matters is consistency. Each sip quietly supports digestion, circulation, concentration, and energy without drawing attention to itself. There is also a subtle pause built into the act of drinking. When you stop to take a sip, even for a few seconds, you interrupt the momentum of busyness. Your breathing slows, your shoulders soften, and you reconnect with your body. It becomes a tiny moment of reset hidden inside an ordinary action. Dehydration can increase fatigue, headaches, and irritability, often without us realizing the cause. By maintaining steady hydration, these issues are less likely to arise in the first place. The result is not a sudden burst of vitality, but a smoother, more stable sense of well-being. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect is its simplicity. Clean water is widely available, costs nothing in many settings, and requires no special effort. Yet this humble habit quietly sustains both physical health and emotional balance from morning to night. Number 6. Taking short pauses to simply sit and breathe. In fast-paced environments, the instinct is often to push through fatigue, telling yourself you will rest later. In Japan, however, you may notice brief moments of stillness woven into the day. Someone sits quietly on a bench during lunch, closes their eyes on a train, or pauses before starting the next task. These pauses are not signs of weakness. They are acts of preservation. Even a minute of sitting quietly can allow the nervous system to reset. Breathing deepens, heart rate slows, and muscles release tension that has been building unconsciously. Instead of carrying stress forward, you create a small gap where calm can return. This practice echoes mindfulness traditions that emphasize awareness of the present moment, but it does not require formal meditation. There is no need for special posture or environment. You simply stop moving, notice your breath, and allow yourself to exist without performing or producing. Emotionally, these pauses can prevent overwhelm before it takes hold. When you step back briefly, problems often appear less urgent and more manageable. You regain perspective instead of reacting impulsively. In a culture that often glorifies non-stop activity, giving yourself permission to pause can feel unusual, yet it is one of the most effective ways to maintain long-term energy. By resting in small increments, you avoid the crash that comes from pushing too far for too long. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is nothing at all for just a moment. Number 7. Stepping outside daily, no matter the weather. No matter how busy life becomes, many people in Japan make a quiet effort to step outside at least once a day. It does not have to be a long outing or a special trip. Sometimes it is simply walking to a nearby store, standing on a balcony, or taking a short stroll down the street. The important part is contact with the open air and the changing world beyond the walls of home or office. What is especially striking is that this happens regardless of the weather. A gray sky, light drizzle, or winter chill is not automatically seen as an obstacle. Each condition is accepted as part of the natural rhythm of life. Instead of waiting for perfect circumstances, people adapt, carrying umbrellas, wearing layers, and continuing with their routines. This regular exposure to the outdoors helps maintain a sense of connection to the seasons. You feel the warmth of summer, the crisp bite of autumn air, the softness of spring breezes, and the quiet stillness of winter. Time becomes something you experience physically, not just something measured on a calendar. Even a few minutes outside can refresh the mind. Natural light boosts alertness, fresh air clears mental fog, and the simple act of looking beyond enclosed spaces reduces feelings of confinement. You return indoors feeling slightly lighter, as if the outside world has absorbed some of the tension you were carrying. Number 8. Letting go of what you don't need. Over time, belongings have a way of multiplying quietly. Items that were once useful or meaningful remain long after their purpose has faded. In Japan, there is a strong cultural appreciation for simplicity, not as a trend, but as a practical way to maintain harmony in daily life. Letting go of excess is seen as creating space rather than losing something. This process rarely happens in dramatic purges. More often, it unfolds gradually. A broken item is discarded instead of stored, just in case. Clothes that no longer fit or bring comfort are passed on. Old papers are cleared away. Each small decision reduces the invisible weight that clutter places on the mind. Physical objects occupy mental space as well as physical space. Even when you are not consciously thinking about them, they contribute to a sense of disorder or unfinished business. When that visual noise disappears, many people feel an immediate sense of relief, as if the room itself can finally breathe. There is also an emotional aspect. Releasing what you no longer need can feel like moving forward. It acknowledges that life changes and that holding on to everything does not preserve the past, it only crowds the present. In this way, simplicity becomes freeing rather than restrictive. By keeping only what supports your life now, you create an environment that feels lighter, calmer, and easier to live in every day. Number 9. Moving the body gently. Every day. Not all movement needs to be intense to be effective. In Japan, physical activity is often integrated into daily routines in a gentle, sustainable way. Instead of focusing solely on strenuous workouts, many people maintain health through consistent, low-impact movement, stretching in the morning, walking between destinations, or performing simple exercises at home. You might see older adults in parks moving slowly through familiar routines, office workers rolling their shoulders or standing to stretch, or neighbors practicing light calisthenics together. These movements are not about competition or appearance. They are about keeping the body functional, flexible, and comfortable over time. Gentle motion stimulates circulation, reduces stiffness, and helps maintain balance, particularly important as people age. It also has a calming effect on the mind. Slow, deliberate movements encourage awareness of the body, the way muscles extend, joints rotate, and breath flows more deeply. Because the intensity is low, there is little barrier to starting. No special equipment is required, no long-time commitment, no fear of injury from pushing too hard. This makes it easier to remain consistent, which ultimately matters far more than occasional bursts of effort. Over months and years, these small daily movements accumulate into resilience. The body remains responsive, energy flows more smoothly, and discomfort is less likely to take hold. It is a quiet reminder that caring for the body does not always require extremes. Sometimes, steady gentleness is the strongest approach of all. Number 10. Ending the day with quiet reflection. As evening deepens and the pace of activity begins to fade, many people in Japan allow the day to wind down gradually rather than ending it abruptly. Instead of jumping straight from stimulation into sleep, there is often a short period of quiet transition. Lights may be dimmed, screens put away, conversations softened. The atmosphere itself signals that the day is coming to a close. During this time, some people reflect gently on what has passed. Not in a harsh, self-critical way, but with calm acknowledgement. They may think about what went well, what felt challenging, or what they learned. Others simply sit in silence, letting thoughts drift without trying to control them. The goal is not to solve every problem before bedtime, but to release the day so it does not follow them into sleep. Traditionally, this reflective mood is often paired with calming routines, such as a warm bath or quiet tea, activities that soothe both body and mind. As tension dissolves, breathing slows and the nervous system shifts into a restful state. Sleep, when it comes, tends to be deeper and more restorative. This habit also brings a sense of closure. Each day feels complete rather than unfinished, reducing the mental clutter that can accumulate when experiences are never processed. Even acknowledging one small positive moment can shift the emotional tone of the night. It costs nothing, requires only a few minutes, and yet it can profoundly influence how you rest and how you wake the next morning. Taken together, these simple habits reveal a powerful idea. Lasting well-being is not built through grand gestures or expensive solutions, but through quiet consistency in everyday life. Small moments of awareness, movement, fresh air, order, and reflection gradually shape how you feel, how you think, and how you respond to challenges. The most encouraging part is that none of these practices depend on where you live or how much you earn. They are available to anyone willing to slow down just enough to notice them. Change does not always arrive with noise. Sometimes it enters quietly, one ordinary moment at a time. So, here is something worth considering. If you could adopt just one of these habits starting today, which one do you think would make the biggest difference in your life? And what has been stopping you from doing it already? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience might inspire someone else who is searching for a simple way to feel better. And if you found this helpful, consider liking, subscribing, and supporting the channel for more insights into everyday habits that quietly transform life from the inside out. Thank you for watching.